What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here. So, if you didn't know, the Bungie trailer just launched, and it was announced that Solar 3.0 will be coming with the new season, which is called Season of the Haunted. The YouTube video is now up if you want to check that out. As well, I made a couple YouTube videos on some solar weapons and armor to check out. So, if you're interested in some potential builds for the new season, check those videos out. In this video, I'm going to be showing you what builds I'm going to be using. Obviously, we don't know which aspects and fragments we're going to be getting with Solar 3.0, but I'm just going to basically be going over the exotics and the weapons that I'll be using and how they'll synergize even before knowing the aspects and fragments. I will do the Warlock first, then my Hunter, then my Titan. So without any further ado, this build is going to be all around the exotic Dawn Chorus. If you don't know what this does, your Daybreak projectiles cause targets to burn on contact and deal more damage to them. All of your burn effects last longer, and you gain a small amount of melee energy each time one of your burns damages a target. This burn effect is really key, and I don't know for sure, but it could have some good synergy with Skyburner's Oath. This is getting a rework tomorrow, or depending when you're watching this, with Season of the Haunted. So this will be able to apply burn. So there could be some synergy between Dawn Chorus and Skyburner's Oath, and I'm definitely going to be testing that out like right when the season launches, and I'm really excited to see if it works. So for the rest of the build, I just have a Heritage Shotgun. Your kinetics won't really matter for any of these builds, just whatever you feel comfortable running. The exotic in the energy slot, I've also got a few other solar options that might be nice, but like I said, overall we're going for the burn synergy here. But just get some good solar weapons on your characters. Dragonfly could be really good because it does work with Explosive Wellmaker, and I believe Tiku's does as well, and we'll get into Explosive Wellmaker in a sec. Rockets also work with Explosive Wellmaker. I've got this is from the Last Wish raid, but whatever solar rocket you want to use. Also, machine guns are getting a rework with Season of the Haunted, so have some machine guns on you for the new season. So let's just go over the build that I'm going to be running. As always on my Warlock, I like to have 100 recovery and 100 discipline. I already talked about Dawn Chorus, Rocket Ammo Finder. Like I said, try to get your recovery and discipline up as high as possible. I've got resilience on just to hit 50, which is like a good mark for GMs, but that doesn't really matter. So Well of Ordnance, picking up a solar elemental well grants you additional grenade energy. That'll be nice because solar grenades should be able to apply burn as well. I'm not sure, but maybe we will be able to burn targets with our solar grenades in Solar 3.0. On the gloves, impact induction, causing damage with a melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. So again, just getting your grenade quicker and quicker every time we pick up a well. Wells automatically give ability energy, and then this one gives even more additional grenade energy. And then we also have bountiful wells, so every time we make a well, we'll actually make two, so we'll just be getting that much more energy. Then we've got explosive well maker, like I talked about, so our rocket will be able to make elemental wells, and I believe the daybreak projectiles can make it as well, at least on bottom tree. Again, we don't know exactly how the aspects and fragments will work, so all the explosions from bottom tree may not carry over. But like I said, this is just what I'm taking in to day one just to be prepared for the new season. So explosive wellmaker I'll be able to make with my rocket launcher. Elemental ordnance, we'll be getting lots of grenades because of the other mods. Plus we have 100 discipline, so every time we get a grenade kill, we'll make 2 wells because of bountiful wells. We'll pick those wells up, that'll activate Well of Ordnance, and it'll just keep the loop going. And then lastly, I just threw on Well of Life, but you can throw on whatever. You could even throw on Font of Might since we're using solar weapons. That might be a good option as well. But what this does is picking up a solar elemental well grants increased regeneration for a short period of time. So it's just good for survivability. And then I've got Bomber on my class item, so every time I put down a rift, I will get more grenade energy back. So this will really just be all about spamming grenades. Another thing you could run instead of this, because we're spamming so many grenades, is Ashes to Assets. That'll get you your super more often, and then your super will be doing increased damage because of the burn and the daybreak projectiles. And again, maybe So how you usually proc the burn now is either you throw a Daybreak or you melee the boss or whatever first and then cast your super, and that will apply the burn. And then your Dawn Chorus will do more damage the whole time. So I'm hoping Skyburner's Oath is able to apply that burn right off the rip. And yeah, so that's the build I'm going to be taking in on my Warlock. And next we'll check out the Hunter. So just like the last build, we don't know how exactly everything will synergize with the aspects and fragments, but if you don't know how this middle tree works, you have your flaming knives and they burn targets on hit, so they apply burn. And then you have playing with fire, destroying burning enemies recharges knife trick more quickly. If you get playing with fire going and have Ophidia Spathe on and 100 strength, you can pretty much non-stop throw your fan blade knives or whatever they're called. So I'm not sure how it'll work, like I said, but the throwing knife in Solar 3.0 could be really good, and that's what this build is all built around. And as well, we have Prometheus Lens, which I believe will also apply burn. Anyways, trace rifles are getting stronger this season, and it's more than likely that they're going to be in the artifact, either probably as anti-barrier. I doubt they'll be unstoppable, and Divinity already stuns Overload, so my guess is it'll be anti-barrier trace rifle. So anyways, this build is based all around our throwing knife, so let's look at it. We've got double hands on, so you gain bonus super energy on melee kills. These do stack, but you do get diminishing returns, so you could run only one, which you may want to do so that you can spec more into strength. As you can see here, I can't have one of these general armor mods on. And then we've got melee Wellmaker, of course, because we're going to be getting a ton of knife kills. So every time we do, we'll be making an elemental well. And if it's how this precision one is, if we get a precision kill, we automatically get our knife back. So again, we don't really know how the knives will work, but this is what I'm taking into day one for Solar 3.0 tomorrow. We've got Impact Induction on. Causing damage with a melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown, so we're really going to be able to be chucking grenades because we're hopefully going to be using a lot of knives. And then we've got Font of Might, so when we pick up a solar well, our solar weapons will do more damage. So Prometheus Lens will be doing a 25% more damage, as well as Cataclysmic, which is just a beast, especially with bait and switch. So then on the chest piece, I've got double trace rifle reserves because we're basically going to be maining Prometheus Lens. This thing, I've already used it in those videos when I was getting footage, and it's got like super subsistence where every time you get a kill, it actually reloads the weapon. And this thing shreds through ads already, so with the buff coming next season, it'll be really strong. Then you throw on Font of Might, 25%, and then as I get into it further, if we're getting kills with our lens, we can make more elemental wells with elemental armaments. And then we have elemental charge, so we become charged with light every time we pick up a elemental well. As well on here, I've got recuperation, so every time I get an orb, I get health back. And then trace rifle scavenger, of course, so we can just keep maining Prometheus Lens. And then we have high energy fire, so we're getting charged with light from elemental charge plus Font of Might, which these do stack together, high energy fire and Font of Might. So we'll be doing 20%, high energy fire I think is getting a nerf. For sure it is in PvP, I don't know if it is in PvE. Regardless, you're getting more damage from high energy fire and more damage from Font of Might every time we pick up an elemental well. And then I've just got Bomber to reduce our grenade cooldown every time we dodge. And we will be running Gambler's Dodge because the whole point is to be chucking knives, and if we're not chucking knives, we're just shredding things with Prometheus Lens. And if we come across high health targets, then we're just going to take them down really quickly with Cataclysmic. As well, I just wanted to point out a few other solar options, just like I did on the Warlock. This, paired with Lucky Pants on a solar subclass, is absolutely insane still, so that's always fun to run and something you might want to try. Polaris Lance could be really good. These weapons are just nice. Explosive Personality also works with Explosive Wellmaker, so you could run that on that Warlock build that I just showed, or the Titan build I'm about to show. You want to retrace path, it's solar, and it's the only legendary trace rifle, so you definitely want to have one of those ready for Season of the Haunted. And then I just wanted to show off all the good solar exotics. Eyes of Tomorrow is getting a buff, so that could be really awesome. Xenophage isn't getting the buff to bosses that all the machine guns are getting, but it is getting the buff to red bars, champions, all that. So Xenophage is back, which I'm super pumped about. Lament's always strong. Galahorn, everyone knows that's busted. Yeah, so get those weapons ready for tomorrow. And that's pretty much the build. So, like I said, this one is more about just getting the most out of Prometheus Lens with Font of Might, Elemental Charge, High Energy Fire, just constantly making solar wells and constantly having a buff Prometheus Lens, Trace Rifle Reserves, Scavenger, tons of ammo. This build will be really fun. Again, you don't have to stack these up. You could run a Trace Rifle Ammo Scavenger or Ammo Finder if you wanted. It's up to you. But that is what I'm going to be taking in day one on my Hunter. And lastly, we have the Titan. Hollowfire Heart was my favorite Titan exotic up until this past season. I went with Heart of Inmost Light because I was rocking Void 3.0 all the time. But in Season of the Lost, I was rocking Hollowfire Heart with a build very similar to this. I didn't have Radiant Light on. The only reason I have that here is for the plus 20 to strength. But you may want to put Melee Wellmaker on, especially if we can have the Throwing Hammer all the time, because you can pick that Throwing Hammer up, so then your strength really doesn't matter. But how I run it right now is on bottom tree, so I want to have my abilities up as often as possible. So you want high resilience, high discipline, and high strength. But again, if we have the Throwing Hammer, which I think we will, strength isn't so key, and I'll probably swap out Radiant Light for Melee Wellmaker. So basically, this one is all about Sunspot creation right now. I imagine the aspects and fragments will keep that identity in Solar 3.0, and I can't wait because Hollowfire Heart is a beast, man. Like, I just got this roll last week with the high discipline and high resilience, and I friggin' love it. This was my old one, so it wasn't quite as good. But anyways, oh, another thing, if you are seeing this before the season launches tomorrow, make sure you take all your seasonal mods off. So anyways, this one, again, is all about creating explosions and sunspots. I've just got Pardon Our Dust for blinding, it's whatever. Sunshot is an absolute monster. I can't wait to use it in Solar 3.0. It causes explosions. Here's a few other good solar options. Again, Dragonfly pairs really nicely with Explosive Wellmaker and things like that. Teraba is going to be awesome. Yeah. I've got Sola's Scar. I'm not sure if Chain Reaction actually procs Explosive Wellmaker. I have to do a little more testing, but that is what I'm going to be taking in anyways. And then again, just some good options. Archon's Thunder could be good with the new machine gun buff that we're getting. Ascendancy's always been really good. I love this thing. Precision Frames are getting a nerf soon in Season of the Haunted though. And adaptives will be better, so things like Hothead, or like I showed on the Warlock, the Apex Predator. So anyways, let's look at the build. Like I said, this explodes enemies. And then on the helmet, we've got Well of Ordnance, just like on the Warlock. We want to have all our abilities up all the time, so we're rocking our really high discipline. And then every time we make a well, we pick that well up, we'll get additional grenade energy. Oops, and one thing I'm missing here is Harmonic Siphon because we've got all our solar weapons, so we only really need Harmonic Siphon, but you could run Solar Siphon. Again, you could run Ashes to Assets too because we will be getting lots of grenade kills. On Solar, I always prefer Thermite grenades, but maybe just like on the Void Titan, now I run Vortex grenades where I used to always run Void Walls, so maybe I'll be running Solar grenades on Titan now. We'll have to wait and see. For the arms, we have Explosive Wellmaker. So if you get a kill with the explosion from Sunshot, this can make an elemental well. And then we've got Impact Induction, so causing damage with a melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. This will be especially strong if we do get the Throwing Hammer, because like I said, we really don't have a cooldown on our melee ability anymore because we could just pick it up. So we could throw our grenade, get a couple hits off with the hammer, and then we have a grenade rate back. If you don't know how Hollowfire Heart works, I probably should have let off with that, but it improves the recharge rate of your solar abilities, greatly improves recharge rate while your super is charged. So the one downside to this one versus Heart of Inmost Light, and Heart of Inmost Light would be a good replacement if you don't have a good Hollowfire Heart, but you don't really want to be popping your super too often. I used to run this build all the time, like I said, and I never really cared to pop my super. It was more of just a panic super to stay alive. I always just wanted the neutral game and the ability uptime that Hollow Fire Heart provides. So here I've got Elemental Ordnance. Defeating a combatant with a grenade spawns an Elemental Well. So we're going to be getting lots of grenade kills. I've just got sword reserves on because these caster frames do use a lot of ammo. But this one, especially with chain reaction, is really awesome for ad clear, but so is Sunshot. And then on the boots, like I said, I may change this to melee well maker and then just a sword scavenger, nothing crazy, and then just invigoration. And then on the cloak, or sorry, the mark, we have bountiful wells. Oops, I got to take that off. So every time we make one well, we'll actually spawn an additional well. So if we made a melee kill, if we do have melee well maker on, we'll make 2. Same with elemental ordnance, same with explosive well maker. So for every well we make, this will make 2, and then that'll proc well of ordnance twice. And yeah, you can just see I've ran this build before in Season of the Lost, like I said, pretty much the same setup. And with the sunspots, that's the other thing. Sunspots also give you ability energy. So when you're standing in the sunspot, you get ability energy. Hollow Fire Heart gives you ability energy, and then the elemental wells will give you ability energy. If for some reason you don't have a grenade up, you can pop a shield, and double bomber will kick in, give you a big chunk of grenade energy. We have 100 resilience, so we can pop lots of shields. You don't need 100 resilience because honestly, you're probably just going to have high enough uptime even without bomber. But like I said, I'm playing totally into abilities here, so that's why I'm running the bomber. And that's pretty much it for the build. I am so excited to use Sunshot. As you can see, I have 2,500 kills on it, which isn't a ton, but this thing goes so hard and it's going to be super awesome in Solar 3.0. I'm actually so glad the trailer launched tonight because it allowed me to get all these builds ready. So tomorrow I'm going to go to the gym and I will be on Raid at Reset, and I can't wait to play. And then I do have plans later this week, so sadly I probably won't be bringing a lot of content. That's why I wanted to put out these videos just showing what I will be using, but I can't show you what I'll be using for aspects and fragments because I made plans a long time ago with some buddies for this weekend, and that's just how life goes sometimes, but that's okay. I'm super excited. I'll be playing alongside you guys. I just won't be having much content for the next couple weeks, so I just wanted to throw that in there. I hope this video helped, and if you liked it, then leaving a like would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, enjoy Season of the Haunted. I am so friggin' hyped. Enjoy Solar 3.0. And yeah, anyways, see you guys later. Take care.